Good evening, everyone. I am so happy to be here tonight. Even though it's bright and beautiful outside, you can see the prism reflected on the wall behind me with all the sunshine going through thanks to the time change. Anyway, it is Monday evening. It is March 18th, 2024. I am Betsy Grady, and we are here together to have our Akashic Records After Dark little gathering. I have a little bit of a cold. Uh, does not always impede me in doing this work. Sometimes, if the cold's bad enough, yes, forget it. I won't be able to pull anything out because it's just too congested. But I'm pretty good. I've been taking oil of oregano, highly recommend it if you have not tried that before to build your immune system and to clear things out. It works. Okay, so I am going to read the Akashic Prayer like I do every week. And when I take this time to read the prayer, I just encourage you to relax, close your eyes, just see if something pops into your mind that maybe your guides want you to be thinking about, because you'll probably get an answer to it if even if you didn't submit a question. We have a few questions this evening. I really appreciate you guys honoring sending your questions in to my email. That is so helpful because I get to keep them all in one spot. And that, if you need it, is Betsy, Betsey, at betsygrady.com. So send your questions there for next Monday, and I keep them in my little queue. And I'm really grateful to share this work. And I had a wonderful time, just real quick, in Arizona last week. I got lots of sun, as you can tell. It was very relaxing and restorative. Just a really magical time. So, okay. Let's get started here. So go ahead and close your eyes. Let yourself relax if that feels comfortable to you. And that's whether you're listening to this live or, hang on one second. I have a little cat issue over here. Quick. Okay. One cat taunting another cat. So he needs a little stimulation tonight. Um, now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, well, anyway. Maybe that's part of that cold, right? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and read the prayer. Okay. I ask God if He will have His shield of love and truth around you permanently, so only God's love and truth will exist between you and me. I allow the masters, teachers, and loved ones of you to channel through me out of whatever realm to say whatever they wish. I ask the permission of the Lords of the Akashic Records, so I'm able to look into the records of you and remove whatever information I'm allowed. Okay. 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 So, general message from the guides tonight. I always like to start out that way before we get into our questions. And they are reminding me that we are moving into Aries season. We are entering into tomorrow's, I think, the spring equinox. And so it's like the official start day of spring. It's also the start day of Aries. For those of you that follow the zodiacs, Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. And so when it's Aries season, think about it this way. Those babies that are coming in here, they're excited to be here. And that is where Aries energy is. It's the first sign of that astrological wheel. There's excitement, there's energy, there's passion, charisma. Like they just want to get their hands on everything. So think of it like that. This could be a really energetic time for you, real exciting time. It's a fire sign, so things can pick up pace and just feel like, gosh, there's a lot of energy. This is what I've been needing. We're moving out of that Pisces season, which is kind of that, great grandparent wisdom of the zodiac, and it's just reflective and intuitive and a little dreamy. And so it's like, whoa, things kick into gear. Now, that's just my little basic astrology. There's a lot more going on, I think, with Mercury and whatever else. Yet, the guides want to remind you that spring is here, it has arrived. And they want you to really embrace the feeling of spring and the flowers coming up from the earth and the tree starting to blossom and the burst of color that's really coming onto the scene. And they want you to really see spring in your life, not just spring as it's occurring physically around you, but where is the color in your life? Where are things, blooming finally? Because that's the message they want to give you tonight, is that we are all in the process of spring in our lives right now. And they said they want you to have that optimism. They want you to have that faith, that trust that maybe things have been dormant for a long time. And maybe the winter has just felt like it went way longer than, it's traditional, 3 months. And you might have been working on something that feels like it's been in winter for years. They want you to know that spring has arrived in your life, and they want you to begin to look with those eyes of wonder and appreciation and really see where things are turning, you know, uh, into something beautiful and, coming out of a dormant period, or where things are springing forth that you didn't even know were there. Have you ever planted a bulb, in the winter or whenever you plant them, and then you start to see it come up, and then others are coming up next with it? It's like, and you didn't even know it was going to lead to more bulbs and more flowers. So think of it that way. Let yourself be surprised with this time of year and find out. Be curious. Where is spring showing up in your life, in your personal journey, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? What is springing forth for you? What is taking on a new life? What is finally spreading its wings, maybe? So this is a really wonderful time. What's really interesting? I read a long time ago, and I thought this was so fascinating, how sound is so powerful in the universe. And many people believe, sound created the universe. And I read, it was by Linda Goodman, an old astrologer. If you haven't read her stuff, it's still fabulous today. Um, she said that the birds in the springtime, it's their time of singing songs and coming together, and they're so jubilant. And if you've been up early in the mornings and you've heard them, it's just this loud, like, melody. And what she said was the birds start singing at the same time that spring is happening, and it's the song of the birds that brings the growth up from the earth. And she said it's almost like the sound of their songs makes the flowers grow and, want to break through the earth and come up. And I thought, wow, this is just such a magical place we live in, and we have no idea how it's really designed. And yet, when you hear those birds singing in the morning, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about what the song is doing for the earth and what it's doing for you. And really start your day out that way. Maybe every day this week, maybe every day, of the spring season. Just remember, when you hear those birds singing, how big of an impact it really is in its simplicity. So, okay, I am going to hop to my questions here. Okay, well, let me get to. I had them pulled up. Here we go. Okay. Let's see here. Here's the first question. Y'all, excuse my cold tonight. How do I break into getting a lucrative paid board seat? I have the experience in education, have attended professional development on the concept, connected to board leads, seat holders, and I've applied. I'm a minority and do not have the wealthy connections who are on lucrative boards in fields that I'm an expert in, who then get introduced to and asked to be a top competitor. Okay, that could be so frustrating. And it's like, when is my time? When is my time? I think, wow, what a great first question to what the guides just said or the masters just said about spring. They said, get ready. And so they meant that message for all of us, everybody tuning in and catching this program. And yet they want to hone in on you specifically for asking that question, because they said your spring is coming. Things are getting ready to blossom in places that you didn't even know you planted something. And that's kind of the way the guides work. So, guides, oh, I love this. The guides are saying, I've never heard this before, that they're like little gardeners for you. And they know where you want to see color in your life. They know where you want to see things blossom in your life. And so you might be conscious that you planted something here or something here, but they've planted other little things for you. Wow, what a powerful message. And so they said, think of your guides as your personal gardeners. And they said everything they planted yields to a blossom at some point. Now, different things might be on different timelines, just like we plant some things in the summer, some things in the winter, I think, right? I'm not a master gardener. But everything has different planting season, is what they're saying. Yet you can trust that they are expert gardeners and that things will be yielding for you. And you will start to see signs of it this spring. They said as early as this spring. And they are saying that for every single person tuning into this message tonight, which I think is pretty freaking powerful, to be able to bring a message forth like that for everyone collectively. Spring is springing for you. So I don't have a direct answer of a timeline for your question, yet something is on the way. I will tell you that. I can say that with 100% confidence. The feeling and the energy and the delight that the guides have in bringing that message forward about being your private gardeners and yielding a garden to you that you uh, don't even know how you would have ever designed. That I think is pretty freaking cool. Great question. Thanks for leading us out with that one. Okay, I have a question. It's about my job. Will I keep it? I really love what I do, and I'm scared my kids won't pass their major state exam. So I really need them to pass with flying colors because they are the best. Okay, so let's see here. Okay. You know what? I am hearing that things tend to work out for you. You've got a lot of fear and worry, and maybe a little bit more than most people. Um, so I don't know if you're a Capricorn. Capricorns, they refer to as the worry sign of the zodiac. I think it's so funny, yet can be accurate. So anyway, if that's not you, what they're saying is they would like for you to really examine your ability to trust and trust people, trust life, trust um, how awesome your kids are and the journeys that they're on and that they're creating for themselves. And they want you to trust in this divine realm. And so you seem to have a really good connection with it. And yet, for some reason, there's a feeling like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. So they want me to ask you to really practice on blind faith, blind trust. but it's not even blind, because it's blind in that you can't see it with your eyes, but you can feel it in your heart, in your body, in your mind. And they want you to start relying on that, on that, on that. How does your heart feel? Because when you're worried about things or scared for things to happen, it's all in your mind. And they want you to relax the mind. What they said they would love for you to do is, when you start to feel a little anxious, they want you to put both feet flat on the ground, like flat on the ground, and imagine that there are roots growing from your feet into the earth, and just let yourself feel grounded. And what'll happen is, as you focus on that, it pulls you out of that mind state. Now, the other thing you could do is walk outside and put your bare feet in the ground, because you're instantly connected to the earth. And the earth, of course, is very grounding. You could even put your hand on a tree or hug a tree. If you're not really comfortable hugging a tree, if people are around and that's not your thing, you know what? Just go put your hand on one or lean against one for a little while. Trees are so deeply rooted into the earth that it grounds you instantly. But they would have you work on that. Y'all gonna see my cat Binks. Um, Hang on here. He got a little shaved today. Binks, you want to say hey? He's he got his spring haircut from all the winter mats. So that's what they said for you, to just practice being grounded and trusting in the inner wisdom that you have within you, because you have a big, beautiful heart. And they want you to know that that big, beautiful heart of yours is very attractive, and it's like a magnet, and it's attracting wonderful energy. And so when you get in that mind place, that becomes another magnet. And so it can kind of have a counter effect to what your heart is sending out there. And sometimes it can take over, and then you attract stuff from your mind. So they're just giving you a really easy visual for you to see your big, beautiful heart, stay grounded to the earth, because that's what really sends that heart energy out. And then watch how things start to unfold. But practice trusting, practice being in your heart, and letting yourself feel the connection, this divine energy, and how alive it is, and how much a part of you and the journey of your kids it is. So I would say there's some positive stuff there, that you'll keep your job and that they'll do well. So thank you for asking that question. Okay. All right. What message do I need to hear most? Okay. Hmm. They are telling me, actually, it's so funny that I'm hearing, first of all, A is for apples. And then they're saying, what is the gift that when our parents were growing up, or our grandparents were growing up, maybe even when some of you were growing up, that was symbolized with gifting a teacher? You know, children used to bring that teacher apples. And an apple a day keeps the doctor away, which is another saying. So they want you to understand that spring for you is a bushel of apples. There's my kitty. He's a little naked, but he's he's still precious. Come on, Binks. You want to come down? I love that he wants to be in here with us. They are saying they want you to think of the springtime as a bushel of apples that you are harvesting. So for you, it's about maybe harvesting apples, as opposed to, we pick apples in the fall, but they want you to know that that's what your spring is going to be about. So you, oh how funny, are in the season of apples, where we consider it to be fall. It's moving into March. um, mm, yeah, March is significant for some reason, but I would say that's your word. That's your word you need to hear most. Um, Apples. and bushels of apples. Hold that vision. See the color red wherever you look. And I think you're going to really be surprised at how much red is actually around you, and that catches your attention as you're driving down the road. What's blooming, things like that. You might even see red skies with a beautiful sunset, but they said to pay attention. That color is all around you. It's reinforcing the message. So they are telling me to tell you, this is not green apples. This is red apples. That's so funny. They're specific about that. Okay, thank you for your question. Let's see. Okay, so I have a dear friend of mine. She sent me a message this morning. Her kitty is lost, and I just have not been able to carve out the time today to ask about her kitty. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to share this question tonight live because I'm tapped in and I'll be focused. So she said her 13-year-old indoor only Kira got out Wednesday night. We've done all the things. Do you have any sense if she is okay, near, trapped, or gone? I've never had a cat gone this long. Beautiful kitty. So let me see here. Let me see what they will show me around Kira. I'm hearing that Kira is fine and she's nearby. She's very scared. She's waiting for things to be very quiet. I don't know if it's possible for you to leave a window open or a door open somehow, but it just feels like she's nearby, but she's scared. So it feels like there's a lot of noise. I would say your best time of connecting with her is at nighttime. And even then, I think it's more about leaving the door open or a window open for her to come safely through, because it might not even be till like 2 or 3 a.m. where she just feels like she can and that she'll be safe. And it's kind of like now's her time to make a break for it. So I'm not hearing that she's struggling in any way. I don't feel like she's dehydrated or hungry in any way. Give me 1 second here. She might be gone for about a week. I would say a little bit. She could come back sooner if there is some way you can leave something open. It just feels like that would be really helpful. But I feel like she's right there. Really, I don't feel like she's walked off in any direction. I would say she's hiding under some bushes. I don't know if there's some big azaleas near you or not in full bloom, but it feels like something like that where she's really hiding out. I do feel like you'll be reunited. I do. I'm just trying to see if they'll give me any information on this journey. Feels like it's about her, actually. Um, I don't know if I would say just wanting to feel a little more stimulated or try her sense of adventure and realizing, yeah, I'm not the adventurous kitty. I'm going to go back to being the happy kitty inside. Because cats talk about things and they don't, even if some have been outside or none of them have been outside, they still know. And they know the deal. And she may have just really had a curiosity to walk on the wild side for a minute, but I would say that's being cured. That curiosity, cats are really curious. It is one of their traits, but I would say that curiosity is being satisfied, and she is checking that one off the list. Not going to do that again. Yeah, I think she's really impressed by the wildlife out there. Um, I don't feel like she's attacked anything, though. It's almost like she's not like, to eat or anything. I just feel like she's been watching, taking it all in, just absorbing it. So I would say she'll be back with you before Wednesday or by Wednesday. Um, and like I said, if there's any way to keep a door open, I think it'd be helpful. But it feels like a nighttime, middle of the nighttime thing for her to come back. So, okay. And I'll keep checking in. So. All right, let's see. Mm, let's see here. Okay, this is so curious. How about this question here? I found a yellow gold wedding band in a box of my things recently. Can the guides tell me who it belongs to? And does it need to be delivered somewhere? What do I need to do with it? I know it's not mine. Wow. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. You know, let me see here. It definitely feels like it's part of the family. It feels like an ancestor's ring. Now, I don't know if that's on your side or your wife's side, but it does feel like there's something with ancestry here. That would be a really curious thing, I would say, to ask your family. And let me see here. Hang on here. That's so interesting. Let me see if I get anything specific around this, though. You know, it almost feels like it was a gift for you. Um, and I don't know if someone just snuck it in with the intention of giving it to you or surprising you with it, but it does feel like it's supposed to be yours. I'm not hearing you're meant to give it away. Um, might be even something that you pass on, but it feels like it was meant to come to you. I can't quite pinpoint though where, and I feel like there's more to the story that's going to be revealed. So they're not going to answer all of that here because part of the story, it's almost going to be like that treasure map. You know, you uncover a little clue here and a little clue here, but it does feel like it's supposed to be yours. Does look like it was put there on purpose. Somebody knows. Um, and like I said, it feels like a gift for you. I feel like an ancestor has their hand in it, no pun intended, with rings and ring fingers and hands. Um, so this might be a little story we have to check in on periodically and see if more information will be revealed from the guides, or when you get another clue, will they share a little bit more? But I would say this is going to be like the guide said, they are like our private gardeners, and they're planting things for us that we don't even know we want, that we've not even designed for ourselves. So there's something here. I do feel like you're going to do something with the ring. So whether that's you start wearing it or whether that's you pass it on to one of your children one day, there's something there though, which is really kind of cool. Okay, let's see here. All right, you guys, thank you for being so patient with me as I go through my little questions. Mm, all right. Okay. Let me see if I got here. All right. Hi, everyone. Those of you joining us live tonight, thanks for coming on. Okay, let's see here. Here's one. This, I think, will be our last one tonight. Life is good. I am grateful. However, I'm deficient financially. I just spent the past year volunteering as a child advocate. Now, the student loans agency from my country has emailed me reminding me that I owe hundreds of thousands of dollars. Technically, I'm not able to work. I'm dealing with pregnancy and a liver disease. What field or initiative would be best for me to create an income stream that does not jeopardize my health? Okay, let's see here. That's a big one there. I can imagine the pressure you're feeling under with all the physical conditions in addition to that financial pressure. So thank you for asking that question. So one thing, I don't know if you've caught this session from the beginning. And if you haven't, I would encourage you to go back and listen from the beginning, because the guides are saying, so many of us, so many of you, and you in particular who asked the question, but all of you tuning in, you've been kind of, in this realm of seeking and being curious, for years. And it's like trying to reach for that next highest version of yourself, or trying to manifest, something in your life that, would make life more comfortable. And so what they want to say to you in particular who asked the question is, you've been planting for a long time. You've been doing a lot of things, planting. And it's almost like you keep changing fields, and you plant in this field and you plant in this field and you plant in this field. And so you're not always around in the field when things start to rise. And so they said that doesn't matter. What's important to know is what you've been planting is working, and it is rising. Things are beginning to grow and blossom. They would ask you, because they're giving you that scene of planting in all these different fields, they would ask you to go back to some of those fields and return to some of the things that you've already planted. And understand this: they have been planting along beside you things that you don't even know were planted. And that's the part you gotta have to trust them. But they are telling me to tell you to revisit some of the fields that you've already planted in. And this could be years ago. But there's success in those fields, there's growth in those fields, and it might be now's the time for you to come back to them. I'm not sure what particular that is. That may resonate with you on some level. If you've had an idea or a nudge to go back to something you started a long time ago, or studied a long time ago, or wanted a long time ago, I would say now's the time to look back at that. All right, let's see here. That's really interesting. I never thought of it like that, though. But so many of us doing this work, we do, man. We are planting and digging and planting and watering and digging, and just like, gosh, we want to see growth in these areas. And sometimes we move into a whole new field before we see the growth really start to show up. And that's okay too. The guides will redirect you back to a field if you're meant to be in it, which is what they're encouraging for you right now. But I think it's something we can all look at, right? Like, what fields have we planted over the years? And is there something we want to go back and look at and see if there's growth there now? Might be kind of curious to revisit some of those things. What a great question. I love that answer. Okay. Wow. This is a quick session this evening. I want to say hi to all of you joining us live. Thanks for tuning in. I'm really appreciative of tonight's messages. The message from the guides with spring and planting and gardeners, and then all of the questions you've all asked this evening, and how they've just woven such a wonderful theme through them. And I would say, me personally, I feel very uplifted to be able to share all this with you, and just uplifted from these messages. So it's such an honor to do this work and share in this. So thank you for being curious and being interested, and for sharing with me. So I will see you next week. Remember, if you have questions, please submit it to my email address, betsy@betsygrady.com. And that's BETSEY. And I will see you next Monday at 6:30. Okay. Thank you. Have a wonderful spring equinox. And Just have fun looking at all the things blooming right now. Okay, bye.